Kings Island, an iconic staple theme park in Cincinnati, Ohio. But what are the top rides at Kings Island? We're gonna ask people here who are enjoying the park, what are their top 3? We'll tally them all up at the end. We'll let you know what wins. Let's do it.
Kings Island is a 364-acre amusement park located 24 miles northeast of Cincinnati in Mason, Ohio. Owned and operated currently by Cedar Fair, the park was built by Taft Broadcasting and opened in 1972. It was part of a larger effort to move and expand Coney Island, a popular resort destination along the banks of the Ohio River that was prone to frequent flooding. And after more than $300 million in capital investments over the years, the park has grown to feature over 100 attractions, including 14 roller coasters and a 33-acre water park. Last year on our channel, we did a video about the top 5 kids rides in Kings Island, but this year I wanted to do a video of just the top overall rides on Kings Island. I was enjoying a day there with my family and 5 kids, and while we were there, I thought it would be best to interview those people who are actually there riding the rides to see what exactly are the best rides at Kings Island. So without further ado, let's get into the actual votes of not just me and not just my favorite rides, but the people who are actually on the ground riding these amazing rides at the theme park.
I think my number 3 is Delirium, my number 2, Diamondback, and my number 1 is The Beast.
My number 3, Diamondback. 2 is Mystic Timbers, and 1 is The Beast.
So Orion, Banshee, and Diamondback.
Orion, Banshee, and the Beast.
Top 3 rides.
Orion, Banshee, and Diamondback.
Do you know yours yet? We're still riding some. You can decide after today.
Orion, Diamondback, and Delirium.
Now, as I continue to interview different people around the park, what was amazing to me was the number of responses. And that just goes to show you how awesome Kings Island is that there's something for everybody. If you like giant drops and just pure speed, then you're gonna love Diamondback and Orion. If you love the old school wooden roller coasters, you're gonna love the Beast and the Racer and the newest wooden roller coaster, Mystic Timbers. And then there's a few of those indoor, more scary roller coasters like Backlot Stunt Coaster and Flight of Fear, which was very popular and has been for years at Kings Island. And maybe you're still young enough where you can handle the loops and twists and turns, so a ride like Banshee is gonna be a lot of fun for you.
3 rides at Kings Island.
Orion, Diamondback, Banshee.
You guys got a top 3?
Banshee, Diamondback, Orion. Banshee, Diamondback, Orion. Banshee, Orion, Diamondback.
Banshee, Flight of Fear, and Orion.
The Racers, the Express, Banshee, Diamondback.
You got a top 3?
Orion, Banshee, Diamondback.
Yes. All right, give me your top 3.
The Bat, Mystic Timbers, and Drop Towers. There were some really good rides.
What's your top 1, sweetheart?
The Aerial Ace.
The Aerial Ace. You're tall enough to do it. Way to go. Way to grow. Dad joke. Top 3 favorite rides are Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Number 2, Scrambler. And number 1,
Boom Blasters.
Boom Blasters. All right, thank you.
Flight of Fear, Orion, and Banshee.
Banshee number 1.
I'm gonna say Mystic Timber,
Number 3?
Diamondback, and then Flight of Fear.
Flight of Fear number 1. All right.
That was intense.
All right, guys, so we tallied up all of this information, and I've got to be honest, there's a lot of surprising takeaways for me on this. Again, the first takeaway was just the number of different rides that people like. It was really fun to see their top 3 picks and how everyone likes something a little bit different. But as we tallied all of the votes, it was very clear to me that there were 2 distinct tiers of favorite rides at Kings Island. In the second tier, I would say are rides that include Flight of Fear, the indoor roller coaster, the Beast, which is the longest wooden roller coaster in existence, Mystic Timbers, which is a newer variation kind of the Beast, and then for the kids, I mean, they love the Boo Blasters on Boo Hill. Come face to face with the Beast, the longest wooden roller coaster in the world. Designed and built in-house by Kings Island personnel, the Beast unleashes its awesome power on the unsuspecting as it sprawls across 35 acres of wooded terrain. When the Beast first opened to the public April 14th, 1979, it was acclaimed America's ultimate roller coaster. It broke all existing records as the longest and fastest ride in the world. It's still listed in the prestigious Guinness Book of World Records as the longest wooden roller coaster in the world at 7,361 feet. The Beast has and continues to stand the test of time and is an amazing ride. If you go to Kings Island, you've got to check it out. Flight of Fear is an indoor roller coaster that kind of has a UFO space alien theme to it. On those hot summer days, it's kind of nice to wait in line because it's actually air conditioned, everything's inside. Also, you can ride this one during Winterfest. It's usually open, which is nice. And it definitely fits into that second tier of favorite rides of Kings Island. If you love the Beast, then you definitely got to check out Mystic Timbers, a ride into the unknown. Everyone who enjoys the fun and thrills of riding a roller coaster will want to experience Mystic Timbers, voted the best new ride in 2017 by Amusement Today. Themed to an abandoned lumber company, riders experience 16 airtime moments as they weave along 3,265 feet of track through wooded terrain, over water, and through a mid-course tunnel at speeds up to 53 miles per hour. Because of its setting in a densely wooded area, the natural rugged terrain and tunnel ensures a unique and memorable ride experience. So those rides kind of round out the bottom tier, Mystic Timbers getting a total of 11 on our weighted scale. The Beast and Flight of Fear are really neck and neck, getting a total of 7 and 8 votes apiece, with Flight of Fear getting a slight edge over the Beast at a 26 weighted scale versus a 25 weighted scale. We asked everyone their top 3 votes because I just figured coming up with their top 5 would have been a little too complicated for them to do on the spot, and we had them rank them from their third favorite to their second favorite and their first favorite. We summed up the total number of votes, whether it was a third, second, or first place vote, but then we also did a weighted scale of votes, kind of similar to an NFL or an NBA MVP vote. And how we did that was a third place vote equals 1 point, a second place vote equals 3 points, and a first place vote equals 5 points. When we summed up the complete total, there were clear 3 favorites in the top 3 rides at Kings Island, and those rides include Orion, Banshee, and Diamondback. Coming in second on our total votes, but third on our total weighted score number is Orion with a total weighted score of 61 votes. At Orion, you're gonna break the screen barrier. Thrill seekers meet their match when they visit Kings Island to ride Orion, one of only 7 giga coasters in the world, a class of roller coasters having a height drop of 300 to 399 feet. Named the best new amusement park attraction for 2020 in the USA Today 10best.com Reader's Choice Travel Awards poll, the ride features the latest prototype vehicle developed by the Project X initiative. Riders on Orion plummet down an exhilarating 300-foot first drop, sending them on a high-speed journey over 7 more hills and 5,321 feet of track at speeds up to 91 miles per hour on Kings Island's tallest, fastest, and longest steel roller coaster. I will say, guys, this ride is actually spectacular. One of my favorite things about it, besides just it being a complete blast and terrifying ride, is that it moves really fast. So even if there's a decent line there, I highly recommend going on there because the line moves pretty quickly getting in and off the ride. I know the first time I rode the ride on the first drop, I think I started to black out a little bit in the back of my head, and I'm like, man, this is kind of crazy. I've never done anything like this before. And then I rode it again with my son and friend, and we rode on the front of it, and it's just absolutely terrifying first drop. It's just so much fun to do. This is a great ride at Kings Island. Coming in second place of the top overall rides at Kings Island is Banshee. Now, Banshee received 20 overall votes, 1 less than Orion, but in our weighted scale, it ended up with a score of 66, 5 higher than the score of 61 for Orion. At Banshee, get ready to scream on the world's longest steel inverted roller coaster. Thrill seekers have something to scream about when they experience the world's longest steel inverted roller coaster. With 7 stomach-churning inversions, the 4,124-foot long coaster ties another steel inverted roller coaster record. Banshee features the following succession of breathtaking thrills: a 167-foot lift hill, 150-foot curved first drop, a dive loop, a vertical loop encircling the lift hill, a 0 gravity roll, a pair of batwing inversions, outside loop, spiral, inline roll, and carousel, all at speeds up to 68 miles per hour. Now, personally, I have to say I love Banshee. I only rode it once and I was like, holy cow. I don't know if my middle-aged body can take too much of that. It did appear to me in terms of the votes overall that the younger riders are gonna like this one probably a little bit more than the middle-aged to older riders because you're doing all these loops and turns and twists and it's a little bit harder on middle-aged bodies, but the kids love it. And that is going to bring us to our number 1 top ride, reigning king at Kings Island, and that is Diamondback. So again, in our top tier of rides at Kings Island, Diamondback, Orion, and Banshee all came in with relatively the same total votes. Diamondback did have the most at 22 versus 21 at Orion and 20 at Banshee, but in the weighted scale, Diamondback does surge ahead with a total weighted score of 80 votes compared to 66 to Banshee and 61 of Orion. And just for reference, that's more than triple the amount of total weighted score for the Beast and Flight of Fear. So this is clearly the favorite ride at Kings Island. Diamondback has ranked among the top steel roller coasters in the world in annual industry and enthusiasts polls since its opening in 2009. The ride stands 230 feet at its highest point with a first drop of 215 feet at a 74-degree angle. Riders snake their way around 5,282 feet of track and 10 drops at speeds up to 80 miles per hour with a splashdown finale. The trains on Diamondback feature open-air, stadium-style seating, which offers riders an unobstructed view no matter where they may be seated on the train. You guys, I absolutely love this roller coaster. I could do it again and again and again. Every single time I'm going up and I can look all around and see the park, I'm thinking, I must be out of my mind for doing this. And then we go down the hills and the wind is blowing in my face and I have a smile that I can't unplaster from my face as drool kind of starts to eke its way out the sides of my mouth. It's kind of disgusting, but fun and terrifying at the same time. I always find myself torn between wanting to grip the handle as hard as I possibly can, or just let my hands up in the air and float over each one of these hills, because you certainly do come up off of your seat on each one of these hills, and there's no other feeling like it inside of the park where you have this incredible freedom of just flying through the air on this amazing roller coaster. Well, I guess I didn't vote in the overall tally, but I'll throw in my 2 cents now. Number 3 for me is really between the Beast and the Racer. I think they're awesome, but I'm gonna go with the Racer just because as a dad of 5 kids, I love the accessibility of being able to take my kids on it. It's an old school roller coaster that has stood the test of time. I've got great memories of it as a kid, so that's coming in at number 3 for me. Number 2 is Orion, which it just terrifies me, but I can, between Banshee and Orion, I can handle the speed and the hills more than I can the loops and the twists. So I'm going with Orion number 2, and for me, number 1 is Diamondback. Like I said, I can ride that ride again and again and again and not get tired of it. And I'll be honest, with my Kings Island Gold Pass, if I'm up in the Mason area selling some houses one day, it's happened from time to time where I found myself in the park doing Diamondback once or twice before heading back home to dinner with the family. I'm not necessarily proud of that, but I'm kind of proud of that at the same time.
So what do you guys think? Was that an accurate poll? Leave a comment down below. What are your top 3 favorite rides? Is it the Beast? Is it Orion? Is it Banshee? Is it Flight of Fear? Is it Diamondback? Let us know what your favorite is in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you videos every week on real estate, news, and living in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.